Hey Steelers fans, welcome back. Today we've got a deep dive into the latest happenings in Pittsburgh, and it's time to unpack everything you need to know heading into this crucial stretch of the season. The team won't be back on the south side until tomorrow, so today has been dubbed internally as a Victory Wednesday, a lighthearted nod to keeping morale high after recent performances. While the full scope of injured players remains unclear until the squad returns, one thing is certain. The matchup against the Dolphins is shaping up to be a test, particularly when it comes to managing the health and availability of some key defenders. Harmon, in particular, will be limited in early practices, and his participation in the sessions will dictate how fully he can contribute as the week progresses. That extra day off, though, is expected to give him a better chance to get ready and regain his rhythm on the field. Harmon's role this season has been fascinating to watch, and it's worth highlighting just how much of a difference his presence, or absence, makes. When he hasn't been on the field, the Steelers' run defense has shown notable vulnerabilities. In the past 2 games without him, the team has surrendered over 200 yards on the ground, a statistic that immediately draws attention. Looking at the broader picture, in the 4 games Harmon missed due to various injuries, Pittsburgh allowed an average of 191 rushing yards per contest. Contrast that with the 9 games he did participate in, even accounting for a game where he was slowed early and saw limited action, and the difference is striking. In those 9 appearances, the Steelers gave up only 96 rushing yards per game on average. The contrast is almost the length of a full football field, a tangible reminder of the type of impact one player can have even when his individual statistics might not leap off the page. When you examine Harmon's numbers, they may not scream dominance in a traditional stat line. Over 9 games, he has recorded 14 solo tackles, added 4 assists, totaling 18 tackles. Yet within those numbers, 10 have been run stops, and he's credited with 3 sacks. While the raw totals aren't staggering, the quality of his contributions is clear. Each play he makes carries weight, often changing the dynamic of a running play before it even fully develops. Analysts may look at rankings, like Pro Football Focus interior defensive lineman grading, where Harmon might sit lower on the list at 85th out of 128, but those metrics only tell part of the story. His true impact is measured in how he changes the behavior of opposing running backs, how he commands attention at the line, and how his teammates respond when they see him controlling his gaps and shedding blocks effectively. The essence of his contribution lies in the way he forces opposing backs to alter their paths. When a running back lifts his head and spots Harmon filling a key gap, the play immediately shifts. They hesitate, redirect, or look for alternate lanes, and in doing so, they often run right into another defender's area of responsibility. That ripple effect eases the assignments for the rest of the defense, creating opportunities that might not appear in the box score but have a massive tactical influence. Cam Hayward, for example, consistently emphasizes the fundamentals of shedding blocks and maintaining gap discipline, and Harmon complements that system perfectly. While no one player can entirely carry a defensive line, Harmon's ability to execute his assignments at a high level enhances the overall cohesion and effectiveness of a unit. It's also worth noting the contributions of younger players like Wyatt Black, who have shown promise in mirroring that discipline in controlling gaps and moving laterally along the line. While there are inconsistencies, especially under pressure against high-caliber opponents, the flashes of potential are promising. Pittsburgh's defensive front, led by veterans like Hayward, continues to maintain a level of performance that requires opponents to plan around key figures like Harmon, demonstrating the importance of experience, leadership, and situational awareness. On the offensive side of the upcoming matchup, the Dolphins pose a legitimate threat on ground. Devin Akan has been a dominant force over their recent winning streak, piling up more than 1,100 yards on the season at an impressive average of over 5 yards per carry. 7 rushing touchdowns underscore his ability to consistently find the end zone, and in the past 4 victories, he has produced standout performances, including a massive 174 yards against Buffalo and a 13-yard per carry average against the Jets. While names like Tuego Valoa often capture headlines due to their stature or draft pedigree, The Steelers know better than to underestimate a balanced defensive attack, particularly one that features a running back capable of altering defensive schemes with every snap. If Harmon were unavailable or limited, that challenge magnifies, putting additional pressure on the rest of the defensive unit to compensate. Beyond individual matchups, the conversation surrounding the Steelers always extends to broader organizational stability and leadership. Questions about coaching and team management often arise when performance fluctuates, but Pittsburgh's approach has long been rooted in consistency. The franchise understands the value of stability, particularly at the head coach position. Unlike teams that experience constant turnover, Pittsburgh's philosophy allows players and staff alike to develop systems, culture, and identity without the uncertainty that comes with frequent changes. This stability is a cornerstone of the team's enduring competitiveness and helps explain why discussions about quarterback or personnel changes don't dominate the narrative as much as they might elsewhere. When coaching transitions do happen, the organization emphasizes a measured, deliberate approach, focusing on process and fit rather than reacting impulsively to a short-term result. That methodology has preserved Pittsburgh's identity as a resilient, disciplined franchise capable of weathering challenges while remaining competitive in one of the league's toughest divisions. Every season, every week, brings new dynamics. Injuries, standout performances, and strategic matchups all intersect to shape outcomes. And as the Steelers prepare to face the Dolphins, those elements come together in a way that tests both preparation and adaptability. The narrative isn't just about one player or one game, but about how the team functions as a cohesive unit under pressure, how leaders like Harmon and Hayward influence not just the scoreboard but the flow of the game, and how the team responds to adversity while maintaining its core identity. Fans watching closely know that every tackle, every block shed, and every read made on the field contributes to a larger story, one where experience, preparation, and situational awareness combine to create opportunities and mitigate threats in real time. As we move deeper into the week, attention shifts from individual matchups to broader team strategy and preparation. The Steelers have always been a team defined not just by talent, but by structure, discipline, and adaptability. That means each practice, each film session, and every internal evaluation plays a critical role in how they approach the Dolphins. One of the challenges this week is balancing player health with readiness. Key contributors like Harmon may see limited reps early in the week, but their presence in practice, even partially, can ripple across the locker room, setting standards for effort and focus. Veterans and younger players alike watch how these leaders handle preparation, which in turn shapes the entire defense's approach. A player's influence is rarely confined to what shows up on the stat sheet. It's often about setting a tone, establishing habits, and creating a level of accountability that permeates the team. For the Steelers, the importance of every defensive assignment cannot be overstated. Defensive linemen are asked to engage physically on every snap, to shed blocks cleanly, and to maintain awareness of gaps that can decide the success or failure of a run play in an instant. Harmon's consistency in these areas creates a ripple effect. When he performs his duties effectively, linebackers can flow to the ball with confidence, safeties can read their keys without hesitation, and the defensive front as a whole becomes more than the sum of its parts. Even when he doesn't accumulate a high number of tackles, his presence alters opponent behavior. A running back approaching a well-filled gap may hesitate, veer off, or accelerate into another defender waiting on the backside, a subtle but decisive influence that shifts momentum without ever appearing on a stat sheet. Meanwhile, Cam Hayward continues to anchor the interior line, demonstrating both skill and endurance at an elite level. Leading all interior defensive linemen in snaps at his age is nothing short of remarkable, and his consistency allows Pittsburgh to rotate other players strategically while maintaining a high level of pressure. Young contributors like Black are gaining critical experience by mirroring these techniques, learning the timing, angles, and spatial awareness necessary to execute at the NFL level. While Black has shown flashes of brilliance, he remains a work in progress, which makes every snap an opportunity for development. The synergy between veterans and rising players is what gives Pittsburgh an edge week after week. Turning back to the Dolphins, their ground game is the story that cannot be ignored. Devin Achane has established himself as one of the most dangerous backs in the league, capable of breaking games open in a single play. His efficiency, power, and vision make him a constant threat, and his performance in the past 4 victories demonstrates his ability to dominate across multiple styles of defenses. For the Steelers, containing Achane isn't just about preventing yards. It's about forcing him into uncomfortable lanes, disrupting his timing, and limiting his opportunities to exploit defensive weaknesses. That task falls to the entire front 7, demanding coordination, communication, and disciplined execution. If Harmon is limited or unavailable, those responsibilities increase exponentially, putting additional pressure on every linebacker and lineman to anticipate, react, and execute precisely. The challenge extends beyond the tactical side of football. Psychological and cultural elements are just as important in Pittsburgh as the XS and OS. The Steelers' history of stability and identity creates a mindset that values resilience and adaptability. Players understand that the franchise does not make reactive decisions lightly. Coaching changes, for instance, are rare and deliberate. Stability allows the team to operate with a clear philosophy and a defined culture. It also gives players the freedom to grow within a consistent system, fostering confidence and allowing them to make instinctive decisions under pressure. In a league where coaching turnover is high, Pittsburgh's approach stands out. It provides a foundation that supports both player development and team cohesion, enabling the franchise to weather injuries, roster adjustments, and the week-to-week chaos of the NFL schedule. This environment also shapes fan expectations. While the excitement of victories and the frustration of setbacks are part of the experience, Pittsburgh supporters understand the value of process and preparation. They appreciate a system that balances talent with discipline, strategy with execution, and individuality with collective responsibility. As the Steelers prepare for the Dolphins, that mentality will be critical. Every practice rep, every walkthrough, and every conversation on the sideline matters. The team is not just reacting to Achane's explosiveness or the pressure of the opposing offensive line. They're actively shaping their approach to counter it, building cohesion and anticipating challenges before they manifest in live gameplay. Another layer of complexity comes from the offensive schemes the Steelers will face. While headlines often focus on high-profile players, it is the combination of play calling, line adjustments, and strategic versatility that creates the biggest threats. The Dolphins, like many modern NFL teams, are adept at disguising intentions, using motion and personnel shifts to confuse defenders and create mismatches. Pittsburgh's defensive preparation must account for these nuances, demanding a level of film study, situational awareness, and mental toughness that can only be developed over time. Leaders on the team play a crucial role in communicating adjustments, ensuring that everyone is aligned, and maintaining focus despite the chaos of fast-paced sequences. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In Pittsburgh, Aloham has grown into a full-blown roar as whispers from inside the Steelers facility paint a picture far more dramatic than anyone expected. According to sources close to the situation, head coach Mike Tomlin allegedly erupted behind closed doors, declaring, "We've got 2 locker room cancers, and I'm removing both." The phrase has become the center of a storm currently swirling around the franchise, fueling speculation, fear, and fascination in equal measure. Players and staff have reportedly been tight-lipped, but murmurs leaking out suggest deep frustration bubbling beneath the surface. Some insiders claim that tensions have been mounting for weeks, with certain personalities clashing over roles, leadership, and discipline. Others insist this is simply the latest flare-up in a pattern of internal strain that's been quietly growing. The identity of the 2 players Tomlin allegedly referred to has become the city's newest obsession. Fans online are dissecting every sideline interaction, every cryptic social media post, and every minor disagreement caught on camera. Some believe this is a calculated move by Tomlin, a shockwave meant to re-establish control and shake loose any complacency. Others interpret it as a sign that the locker room is more fractured than the franchise wants to admit. What's certain is that Tomlin's intensity is legendary, and if he truly delivered that explosive line, it signals a pivotal moment. The Steelers have long prided themselves on stability and unity, but even the most disciplined teams can hit turbulence when egos, expectations, and pressure collide. Whether this rumor marks the start of a drastic overhaul or simply fades into the haze of NFL drama remains to be seen. For now, Pittsburgh buzzes with anticipation and unease. Something is shifting inside the Steelers' walls, and whatever Tomlin decides next may reshape not only the roster, but the entire direction of the franchise. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.